Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We've got some Mary Kay on deck, and it is one of our favorite top leaders within Mary Kay, the news lady.
I love her.
This specific team training that she's hosting is all about recruiting, according to the description. And we're gonna get right the fuck into it, but first, we need the disclaimer.
So in this part of our core consultant skills training, we're talking about sharing. And I'm not talking about sharing the product as in holding an appointment. I'm talking about sharing the opportunity. Some people call it team building or recruiting.
Maybe because that's actually what it's called. It's not sharing. You're not sharing. You are asking people for money in return for a fake quote unquote business. It's not sharing. You are sharing, it would be free. You would be giving them something in exchange for nothing at all. We know what sharing is, right?
That's something we learned in kindergarten.
Things she taught us. One, our business opportunity is too good to keep to ourselves. She said, imagine you have this tremendous gift and you keep it all to yourself. There's plenty of it. You have enough to give away, but you don't. That would be selfish.
It's not selfish to not share an MLM opportunity with somebody. The number of times that I hear this, I think I've heard it from at least every MLM that I've ever reacted to at this point. When I was in Scentsy, I thought it was just Scentsy that did that. I'm like, oh, that must be like the Scentsy spirit bullshit. But no, it's every single MLM. You're not selling, you're sharing. You're not asking people to join, you're sharing the opportunity with them. And if you don't share these things, then you are being selfish. So they're giving these individuals shame over not mentioning that they are part of an MLM and they think all of their friends and family should join also, and any other person they might come in contact with throughout their day. Everybody should be asked to join Mary Kay. That's not the case.
And I always think of the story my brother told me when I was a brand new consultant. He said, Brittany, let me get this right. You thought it was a great opportunity. I said, absolutely. And he said, and it's working great for you. And I said, absolutely. And he said, but you haven't shared it with anyone else yet. And I said, absolutely. And he said, well, that's just dumb. So friends, if you are here and you're a consultant, you're watching this video, then I'm here to tell you that you should be sharing the opportunity, because you wouldn't be here if someone hadn't shared it with you. Second thing Mary Kay Ash said, when we don't share our business opportunity, we are making the decision for someone else.
Give me a break.
And oh my gosh, this one hit me like a ton of bricks when I heard Mary Kay say it. What if the other person you're not sharing with assumes that you think she would not be successful? And I know that probably makes you stop in your tracks like it did me and say, oh, I just didn't think about it at all. Let me tell you, my consultant did not share the opportunity with me. And some of you know, I went online and sought out the information and tried to become a consultant myself and found out you have to sign up with someone. And that's when she said, no, you do it with me. I said, well, you never told me that. So you never know what people are thinking. They may think, well, she doesn't think I could be successful. I'll show her. I'm going to find someone to sign up with. And I have had that happen to consultants in our unit. They didn't share the opportunity. Then they find out their customers signed up with someone else and they're mad. And respectfully, you have no right to be mad that she sought out the information and signed up with someone else if you didn't share it with her and tell her how she could sign with you. Doesn't mean she will sign with you, but you have an obligation to tell her how, if she ever wants to, she can join the company. Third thing Mary Kay Ash said is that we're thinking small. And what does that mean? Well, we might not share the opportunity because we might be thinking, but she's my customer and she's a really good customer. I mean, if she joins my team, I'll lose a customer. You guys, that is such stinking thinking. That is such small thinking, because we know how to go and find new customers. But when you find a customer who's interested in the opportunity, don't limit her to being a customer. Allow her to join your team. Sometimes you might be thinking small, like, I don't know, she just wants to do this for the discount. Girls, if I had a nickel for every person who is on my team now that said, well, maybe I'll just, do it for the discount and see how it goes. I have a consultant on my team who has been on my team since she was a hostess for me over 22 years ago, who just wanted the discount and maybe to share it with a few friends. And here she still is 22 years later. Likewise, I've had people who were ready to go great guns and came in and then at some point stopped working and maybe now just use it for the discount or aren't here at all. I'm telling you this because we overthink, right? Women are so good at that. I'm the queen of overthinking. Perhaps you can join me in my kingdom here. So let's not overthink it. But those are the top 3 reasons that we might not share the opportunity. The next reason we might not is kind of number 4 on the list, a little further down. Maybe we just don't know how. So that's what I'm going to spend the rest of our time now talking about. Now that you understand the psychology of why we should, and you're having a paradigm shift on that.
Oh my God. What? Not only are you now being selfish, you're also making up their mind for them. How did we get here? We know by the statistics and by the facts and by information out there that over 99% of people who join MLMs lose money. Lose money. So the odds of people even benefiting from this opportunity that you're being selfish and not sharing are so slim that you're actually being selfish when you're trying to get them to join your team, because the real reason you're trying to get them to join your team is so that you can get more money and you can get the next incentive trip and you can pay for your Mary Kay car and all of those things. Am I wrong? I'm pretty sure I'm not, because if you were not making money off the backs of these people on your downline, barely making anything, then you wouldn't give a about bringing them onto your team.
I want you to hear the language on how we ask for a share. So go back again and watch the separate core consultant skill video on the art of the close. And I talk about our 6-question close sheet. It has a little heart in the top right corner, top left corner. And it's something that we have people fill out at the end of every appointment. And it asks them, did you have a great time? What, if anything, would you like me to teach you at your follow-up? What were your favorite sets? It asks them when they want to have their follow-up appointment, all these things. But the last question is, if you could only ask me one question about our business opportunity, what would it be? And a lot of times, I know you'll identify with this, a lot of times people don't fill that part out. And the reason they don't fill it out is one of 2 things. One, you didn't share the 6 fast facts during the appointment. So they don't have a question because you didn't tell them anything to ask a question about. Or you did a great job sharing the 6 fast facts and they say, well, I think you answered all the questions I had. In which case, I'm going to tell you what to do in both cases. Okay. Case number 1, I want you to go back and watch the Art of the Close video, because I tell you how to share 6 fast facts about the opportunity in under 2 minutes. The point of doing that is not to cover everything about Mary Kay and the opportunity. It's just some quick hit bullet points that cause them to be curious and want more information. To be curious and have a question to put down on that sheet. So when you meet with them individually for their individual consultation, as you'll see in that video, The Art of the Close, then you can have a conversation around their question. So Brittany, what if the other thing happens? They don't have one. They say, well, you pretty much answered all my questions. Then I say, then tell me which of those fast facts impressed you the most. And I write it down.
Do you really think that these people that are coming to these Mary Kay free facial parties want to be quizzed?
Pop quiz. Which was your favorite question?
No, they don't want that fucking shit. Make it stop. Stop the bullshit. Thank you and good night.
People will always answer with what they value most or what they wish they had. So if they say, well, I didn't know it was so flexible, that tells me either that flexibility is incredibly important to them in their life, or they sure wish they had more flexibility in their life. If they say, well, I had no idea you could make 50%. I mean, that's good money. That tells me either they appreciate being paid well for working, or maybe they are not well paid and they sure could use some extra money. So there's insight both ways. If they ask a question, great. If they don't, if they say, well, I don't really have any questions, or you answered them all, or I couldn't think of anything, then just ask it a different way. What impressed you most about what you heard or saw today in regard to our opportunity? And then you've got to wait and nod.
So this feels very awkward.
And be just a little tad creepy to make them uncomfortable enough to say at least something. I mean, that kind of like communication style makes me so uncomfortable. I am not okay with it for whatever reason. I don't know.
It could be something simple like, well, I mean, it was just so fun and it was fast, or you were so professional, or I really learned a lot about my skin. Whatever they say, affirm it.
How can you learn a lot about your skin from somebody who is not credentialed in skincare and recognizing different things like an esthetician or a dermatologist? How can you teach somebody something about their skin when you don't have those credentials? I'll wait.
That's amazing. Have you ever been to a class where you were taught about Great skincare before? Okay, that's good to know. Or you were just so professional. Thank you. You know, in Mary Kay, we come in with no experience, but the training is free. And if you're willing to learn, we can teach you. So you just kind of comment on what they said. Don't go deep if they did ask a question and go into all the detail, because again, you have other people waiting to do their individual consultation with you. But this is the part I want to get to. And again, you'll see it in the art of the close. But that's when you say, my director is teaching me to answer the questions people most often ask. Write that down. My director is teaching me to answer the questions people most often ask.
Write that down. Every single training call in the MLM space will say that. Write that down. And then what's to follow, or what came before that you were supposed to write down, is something that you definitely never needed to waste the ink on. In my opinion, of course.
And the way that we learn is by inviting our customers to do a short 15-minute phone call with me and my director so that you can listen while I learn. And so the way that we do that is we invite our customers to hop on a short 15-minute phone call with me and my director so you listen while I learn. And what that means is she'll share a little bit of information about the opportunity and you can listen to it. And I learn then how she answers the questions you ask. And you can ask her absolutely anything. And then the magic question, is there any reason you couldn't help me with my training by hopping on a 15-minute call? That's it. That's it. So simple. And here's what I want to tell you is that, like so many other things, sorry, I have something in my eye. Like so many other things in our business, you guys, I want this to be so automatic that if I woke you up from a deep sleep, you could just say that. And you know how it happens? By saying it again and again and again, the same way, the same way, the same way, the same way. And here's
just picturing that, like waking up from a dead sleep to her asking you to pitch Mary Kay. Like, oh my God. I'm going to prison.
The real benefit of that. Not that it just rolls off the tongue, which it will. That's a benefit too. The benefit is you will not have time to prejudge because you'll get to that part of that 6-question close and it will just tumble out of your mouth. In the same way that if someone called my phone, I'd say, good afternoon, Brittany Mitchell. I don't have to think about that. Good evening, Brittany Mitchell. Good morning, Brittany Mitchell. That just rolls out. It's automatic. It's what I do every time. I don't go, oh, who's that? I just answer. And in the same way that if you were at a restaurant, they'd come up and say, welcome to Denny's. You know, we're going to tell you about our specials today, or welcome to McAllister's. Let me tell you about our special. It just rolls out. It's part of what they do. When you make that language, hear my heart on this. When you make that language around sharing part of what you just do, then it won't be a big deal to do it. When it's a big deal to do it is when sometimes you do it and sometimes you don't. This person wouldn't need the opportunity because her husband makes a lot of money. I know he does. I've seen his car and he drives a really fancy car. Well, one of my first team members joined and her husband was in that same situation and she didn't have an outside the home job, nor did she have children, but she wanted something that was hers, something that she could build. Because everything in her life was identified around being Mrs. So-and-so or so-and-so's wife. Well, that never occurred to me because I came in to make money. And so I thought that's why everybody came in. So whatever your reason for coming into Mary Kay is reason number 5. You might not be sharing the opportunity. You may perceive that that person doesn't need what it was you came in for. And so why would she be interested?
Nobody needs the MLM, not a singular person. Okay, let's just make that very clear. You have to pay to get in. So that's the first problem. There is a paywall to this solution to people's problems. Just stop. Nobody needs this. Nobody ever needed this.
Which I would say, there it is. Ding, ding, ding. I'm curious. Write those words down. I'm curious. I'm curious. I wonder why she would be interested. I wonder what would appeal to her about our opportunity. I wonder. When you're curious, you begin to wonder. Write that down. When you're curious, you begin to wonder. So stay curious. Stay curious.
And write down all of these inspirational quotes.
When you're curious, you begin to wonder.
What is that going to do for them? What does that do for anybody? Oh, I should be more curious about things. Okay. Where are we? What planet have I gone to?
And the other great thing about being genuinely curious is that you will think of really great questions because you don't know the answer. You don't allow your brain to go, I bet. No. Don't even go there. Just stay in the curiosity.
Just stop your thought process. This isn't cult-like behavior at all. Don't think about logic.
Okay, so when someone says to you, well, I was pretty impressed, that you can do this like really part-time if you want. I kind of figured it was like a job and you'd have to like, commit to a certain schedule or something. Don't go, I know, isn't that amazing? No, stay in curious mode and say, I'm curious, what is it about that appealed to you? Even if you think you know, don't even go there.
So uncomfy. I'm not okay. Like just even watching it on video is eek. That's so intense, right? I guess that's just some people's communication style, and I don't receive it well. I'm not a good receptor for this type of communication style.
Use those words. I'm curious. What is it about that appeals to you? And don't say anything more. Don't say, is it that you have a job now where they tell you? Don't answer for her. I'm curious. Or I wonder what she was thinking when she asked me that. So say, I'm curious. What caused you to say that was the thing that impressed you most? And guess what? She'll tell you. Now she's selling you on one of the elements of our opportunity. How about that? Okay, so I want to tell you where you can go to find our team building flyer online, because now I want to transition into how we share the opportunity. So when we do those calls, this is literally what I say. Susie, thank you so much for coming on the line with Marty and I today. She tells me that you were at a party she held last week. That's awesome. Did you have so much fun? Marty is so much fun. Yes, she is. You're right. She's very good at what she does. Well, let me tell you how this is going to work today. I'm going to ask you to share with me a little bit about yourself. I want you just to paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now. Then I'll share a little bit about myself, so I'm not a stranger to you. And then I'm going to paint you a picture of what it might look like if you were to add, hypothetically, Mary Kay and our opportunity into your life. Sound good? So you guys, 3 things. I told her what to expect. I told her I was going to ask her to paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now. Listen carefully. That is not the same thing as saying, what do you do? Or just tell me about yourself. When you say to someone, paint me a picture, it's a word picture that I'm looking for. She's going to talk and I'm going to picture what her life looks like. So I say it that way. Susie, paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now.
Let's pretend
I'm Susie!
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, I didn't. I did not.
I heard it.
I didn't.
I heard it.
My son's accusing me of farting, and I just want to make it clear that I did not fart, okay?
Sure.
I didn't fart.
And you guys, the difference is staggering. When I used to say, what do you do, Susie? Sometimes people would go, oh, I'm a teacher. And I'd go, oh, that's awesome. Now, when I say, paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now, it's putting the ball in their court and they can choose to share whatever they want. And guess what? Whatever they share is what's important to them or what they value or what they wish they had. And they'll say things like, well, I'll tell you, my life is very full. I am a school teacher, and so I'm gone from early in the morning till mid-afternoon. Then I coach cheerleading after school, so I'm usually hitting the door, coming in hot, making dinner for my family, getting my kids to bed, and then grading papers, and then get up and do it again. Now, what if I had just said, what do you do? And she said, I'm a teacher. Do you see the difference in saying, paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now? You're going to get a vastly different answer. And so you should be taking notes. And I like to do these personally. I know a lot of people like to do them on Zoom. You can. I like to do it on the phone as a phone call. I think it's comfortable because we're not staring at each other, but also so I can take notes. And so I'm writing down, very full life, cheerleading coach, teacher, running in the door. That tells me busy woman, busy, busy, busy. But what I'm thinking is, what is it about our opportunity that could appeal to her? Or I'm thinking, what do I know about busy women? They're around lots of people. She's a teacher.
Oh my God. It's so gross. It's like she's saying she's not genuinely interested in anything this woman has to say. She's just trying to find a way to weasel the Mary Kay opportunity into her life so that she can benefit off of this individual's vulnerabilities. But they don't see it. They don't see it at all. There's not even a glimmer of hope for some of these individuals.
She works with other teachers. Those are potential customers. She's a cheerleading coach. All the moms of all those cheerleaders, potential customers. She's got kids. They have friends who have moms, potential customers.
Yikes.
Do you see what I'm doing?
Unfortunately, yes.
I am thinking outside of what she's saying, and I'm thinking a little bit deeper into what about this would make her good in our business? What about our opportunity would serve her? But I'm just listening. I'm not telling her that. I'm just listening. And then I let her talk for as long as she wants. And then I may ask a clarifying question if they don't say much. Sometimes I'll say, well, I mean, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I work full time. So yeah, then I'll say, oh, well, what do you do for work? Then I'll maybe ask a few more questions, but I promise you probably won't have to do that. You're going to be amazed. Paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now, or what your life looks like these days. Okay, because people's lives look different. Things change every 6 to 12 months, I'm told, in people's lives. Okay, that's what data shows us. All right, so then I say, well, so that I'm not a stranger to you, let me share briefly a little bit about me and paint you a picture of my life and what drew me to Mary Kay. Now, you guys, I am going second because I'm going to share elements of my story that align with hers. If she said she's a mom and I'm a mom, I'm going to make sure and mention that.
Of course, because you want to hook, line, and sinker. That's what you want to do to her.
We're taking a little detour.
Can I see the ducky, please? Thank you. So side note, if you hear a little squeak in the background, my apologies. I have this tiny little rubber ducky that I got in a drink when I went out with a friend of mine recently, and I love him, and my son just found him, so...
If she said that she doesn't have kids, then I'm not going to talk all about my kids. And so it doesn't mean you don't mention that, but you're going to mirror the things you have in common. Okay. So if Marty's customer Susie works with her at the hospital.
It's interesting that she's using a lot of sales type terms for a situation that you are sharing things in.
Then I might say, I know you said you work at a hospital. I also used to work for a health system. I was a fundraiser for the Children's Miracle Network prior to starting my Mary Kay business. And what drew me to Mary Kay was, and then share it briefly, because again, your reason might not be theirs, but it'll open their eyes too, to hear oh, well, that's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that's why people come to Mary Kay. You get me. Okay. So then I say, all right, well, in the last little bit of time we have, write that down. The last little bit of time.
Seems unnecessary.
We want this to feel quick, you guys, because we promised them 15 minutes.
Did you write that one down? The last little bit of time? Muy importante. Write it down and then highlight it and then put it on a post-it note and stick it on your bathroom mirror so you see it every day. Don't forget it.
So usually they talk about themselves for 2 or 3 minutes, and then you should talk about yourself for half that. And then you're going to share the opportunity. And so what I do is I use our team building flyer, and you can go on to resources, how to team build. It's either resources or business tools. It's cross-posted on InTouch, and find the team building flyer. And it just has 3 kind of bullet pointy type things about Mary Kay. And all I do is I say, I'm just going to share with you 3 things about our opportunity. And what I really want to do is paint you a picture of what this might look like if you blended it, Susie, into your life. Now, here's what's so critical. What if I had not asked her to paint me a picture of her life? Could I have painted her a picture of what this would look like? No, I would have been regurgitating facts. There's this, and there's this, and there's this, and there's this. How do I know that that has any meaning to her unless I've asked her to paint me a picture of her life? If she just said, I'm a teacher, and I went, oh, great, a teacher. My mom was a teacher. That's cool. I wouldn't know that she's also a cheerleading coach, that she's hitting the door hot every night and rushing to make dinner and rushing with her kids. That tells you, from what in this faux scenario I made up, that tells you that she feels like she's always on the go. She's hurried, she's rushed, she doesn't have a lot of time. Okay. So I am going to focus on how you can do this in little pockets of time. And I'm going to focus on the people that she already has in her life who could be customers. And it might sound like this. So Susie, first let me share with you a little bit about who we are and what we believe. Mary Kay started this company 61 years ago, and like you, she was a mom. In fact, she was a single mom of 3, had very little time, but very much had a need to make extra money. And so even though she had a very full life, just as you do, she found a way to work this into little pockets of time and grow it to the point where it gave her the opportunity to choose whether she would like to make this her solo career or continue to blend it in addition to what she already did. Now, I didn't mention what Mary Kay did or what that job was because it wasn't a teacher. And so Susie may not care. I'm only sharing the elements that align with Susie. Okay. Then the second thing I'm going to say is let me share with you how we make our money in Mary Kay. And I'm going to hearken back to her experience with her consultant. That's going to feel familiar. Just like you got together with Marty for a skincare party. Now, if she had gotten together with Marty one-on-one, I would have said, just like you got together with Marty one-on-one to see and try some of our products, I would have said that. So I want it to align with her experience. So before you get on this sharing call, make sure.
They even call it a sharing call, not even an opportunity call. It's a sharing call. If somebody invites me to a sharing call, I'm going to need a whole lot more information before I get on that call. What are we sharing?
That if you were the one doing it for one of your team members, how this consultant met this person. So as the director, I'm going to ask you that. Marty, how did you and Susie meet? Okay. So then I'm going to say how we make our money, Susie, is we get together with people for show and tell. We show you the product, we tell you about it, and then you get to try it. If you love it, you get to buy it. Show and tell, try and buy. That's what we do. It's very simple, and we have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. What did you take home from your appointment? I'm curious. Now, maybe Marty told me, oh, she bought a miracle set, but I want her to tell me. I don't want to say, Marty tells me you bought the miracle set, because I don't want her to think Marty and I have been talking about her. I want her to tell me. Oh my gosh, the miracle set. Susie, smart choice. What do you love about it so far? What am I doing here? I'm curious and I'm asking, and she's telling. She's telling me how amazing it is. She's telling me how much she loved it at the party and it felt so good that she knew she had to take it home. She's telling me that in just 3 days, her friends are already giving her compliments and asking what she's doing different. She's telling me because I'm what? Genuinely curious. So then I say, so the last thing I'll tell you is just how you get started in Mary Kay. We have a couple of options. You can start for as little as $35. For that, you get an assortment of samples for yourself, and you get a free website for a whole year so that you can tell people about Mary Kay and they can go online and shop with you. Or we have the option to buy our complete starter kit, which is what most people do, and that's just X amount more. And for that, you get $400 in full-size product, enough samples to hold appointments with, all of your training materials, and you get that free website as well. And so it's really about how you would choose to work the business, Susie. Everyone starts with the 35, but most people do add on that other kit, but it's not required. So hypothetically, if you were to give this a try, which of those 2 ways do you think you would entertain? Okay, great. Well, so the way that people join is your consultant just texts you a link. It's just a little form that says, sure, I'll give it a try. There's no obligation to continue. There's no obligation to do it for a certain amount of time. We just say, how would you ever know unless you try?
How would you ever know unless you try? Just give it a try. And I feel like that works a lot of times because I haven't come across many people, my age at least, that have not at one point gotten trapped and joined an MLM. So that line apparently does work on a lot of us.
And so let's give an example of, she's a teacher. I'm sure you probably say this to your kids all the time. How many times do your students go, I can't do it? And you say, well, you'll never know unless you try, right? So same thing with Mary Kay. We don't believe you would know if you'd enjoy it or be good unless you try it. So we encourage people, even if you're remotely interested, give it a try. And then if you find you love it, great. And if you find it's not for you, that's great too, but at least you know. And either way, you're going to make money in the process and you're going to enjoy that great discount because our consultants can shop half price with as little as 1 order a year.
Which way of doing this is selfish? Sharing the opportunity or not sharing the opportunity? I forget, because it sure as seems to me that sharing the opportunity is definitely the more selfish side of things, but that's just me.
So I'm going to stop talking now, Susie, and I want to see what came up for you. What questions or things are you curious about? And then I zip it, and then she tells me. This is a very quick call. Now, I always say 15 minutes because that's not a lot when we make the ask. It's not intimidating. Sometimes does the call go over 15 minutes? Absolutely. But here's why. It's not because I'm talking longer than that. It's because she's genuinely curious and she's asking me more questions. If she's guiding that, it's okay if it goes over 15 minutes. But if I'm blah, 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 no, that's not okay. Let's recap. 1, we're going to tell her what to expect. Susie, I'm going to have you paint me a picture of what your life looks like right now. I'll tell you a little bit about me, so I'm not a stranger to you, and tell you what attracted me to Mary Kay. And then I'm just going to share a little bit of information to help paint a picture of what this might look like, hypothetically, if you added it into your life right now. Sound good? That's it. So then I say, okay, so paint me a picture, Susie. What does your life look like these days? And she tells me, and I'm taking notes. And I'm thinking not just about what she's saying.
We're just doing a lot of painting. Now I kind of want to go do like a paint night.
I'm Bob Ross.
Who wants to come? Let's go.
Don't just write down teacher, cheerleading coach, mom. Write down, talk about this, talk about that. You want to be saying, and so I'm going to share this. Imagine it, me and my word pictures and analogies, like you have a tray. And on the tray are all the elements of our opportunity: flexibility, income, working in pockets of time, free training, all of that. And based on what you're hearing her say, in your mind, you're picking things up off the tray and putting it on a plate. And you're going to serve that plate to her when you share the opportunity. So then you share a little bit about yourself, aligning yourself with her. What's the common thread? What do you have in common? What would make her go, oh, no way? I just met someone recently for the first time, and she and I had in common, this is so unusual, that both of our brothers, fathers, and grandfathers were all funeral directors, which is a very, very niche and unusual thing.
It's an omen.
I feel like that is some kind of weird sign. I would be a little nervous for my life. I don't know. That is so bizarre.
But instantly there was this affinity. And she said, oh, we actually grew up over the funeral home my family owned. And I said, me too. And so we had all this stuff to talk about. So this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Find some little common thread. Don't let it pull you down a rabbit hole, but just talk about that. And then, okay, well, let me now share just 3 things with you. A little bit about who we are and what we believe, a little bit about the company, a little bit about how we earn our money, and then a little bit about how you get started. You guys, it doesn't have to be encyclopedia length kind of stuff. You want to tell enough that they have questions and want to hear more. That's the goal. That's called having a conversation. But if you're like, and there's this, and there's that, and there's this, and there's that, and you can earn cars, and you can earn diamonds, and you can go to seminar, and you can have career conference, blah, 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 blah. No inside baseball. You guys, they don't know what seminar is. They don't know what career conference is. When you say you can earn a car, they're thinking, yeah, right. Most people don't go, okay, that sounds good. They're like, yeah, right. Because they can't connect the dots. They don't know how you earn a car. They don't know what you have to do. And then if they say, well, how does that work? And then you go into all this minutia, it's overwhelming and over their head because they have no context. If I said to someone, well, it takes $120,000 wholesale to earn a Cadillac in 6 months, that's $240,000 in retail sales, their eyes are going to bug out of their head because they have no context of, well, like Saturday, I had a $635 facial and makeover. So they just don't have any context.
With no esthetician training whatsoever. Sounds legit to me.
That's not what you're trying to do here. What you're trying to do is wet their whistle, who we are and what we believe, values, how we came to be who we are, and then how we earn our money. And how we earn our money is show and tell, buy and sell. We show, we tell, you try, and if you want to, you buy, and we make 50%. And I always say that part, just to give you an idea of what that looks like, the customer pays you, Susie, and half of what your customer pays you, Susie, you put right in your pocket. That's yours to keep. And the other half goes to Mary Kay to pay for the product the customer bought. Okay. And then I say, and then, a couple of ways to get started in the business. So I have that team building flyer in front of me, and literally you could practically read off of it, you guys. Now, let me finish by saying this. There was a time when I did not do it that way. And someone very wise, National Sales Director Karen Rydell, said to me, Brittany, the way you do it is excellent and it works very well, but is it duplicatable? And she said, I need this for my national area to be so simple that my consultants can do it without me. And I hope what you just heard and everything I said was, well, I could ask someone to paint me a picture of their life these days. And I could certainly paint a picture of mine and what drew me to Mary Kay. And I could talk about those three things: who we are and what we believe, how we make our money, and ways to get started. Yes, you can. You're absolutely right. We are making it too complicated. Nothing drives me crazier than when I hear people saying recruiting is down, recruiting is down. Recruiting is not down. People aren't asking.
Then recruiting is down, because if people aren't asking, then people aren't joining, right? That's the point that we're trying to make. So recruiting is down. If people were still asking, then recruiting would at least be level. So she just definitely contradicted herself.
I will tell you that when we share the opportunity, at least 1 out of 2 join. There's only 2 things they can say: I think I'll try it, or I don't think I will. That's it. We usually sign 50% of the people we share with in our unit. It's not because we're diabolical and scheming and we can make people sign. I don't want to make people sign. And that, friends, is why I don't call it recruiting. I'm not trying to recruit them. I'm trying to share with them enough information that they can make a decision about whether to give it a try.
It's the same thing.
Did you hear that? Not whether they'd love it, not whether they'd be good at it, not whether they want to do it for the rest of their life or even a year, whether they want to give it a try. That's our job, to share enough information that they can decide, would I like to even give it a try? Because it's the giving it a try that will determine if they love it and want to keep doing it. Same thing with joining a gym, same thing at eating at a restaurant, same thing with a new pair of shoes. You got to try it to see if you like it. You buy the shoes, they're cute. It's wearing them that tells you if they're going to be the pair you wear all the time. You go to a gym, it could be bright, beautiful, sparkly, gorgeous locker rooms, but it's the experience of going there, meeting the people, training, testing out the machines, the classes. That's how you know if you love it. You get me. And so that's what we do. We share. And so I think the thing that I used to hear 20 some years ago is, oh, well, it's really hard to get a sharing appointment because people think we want to recruit them.
I can't with the fact that she's calling it a sharing appointment.
Is this preschool circle time?
It just sounds so fucking ridiculous. It sounds like we are setting up a preschool like carpet time. Do you remember back in the day when you were a preschooler? You would have the rug time and we would all sit in a circle and share shit. It's a sharing appointment. You're gonna go sit on the number rug and share your Mary Kay opportunity. Maybe the number rug is a triangle.
And I don't hear that now because of how we go about it. But if you ever hear someone say that, you simply say, I don't want to recruit you. I want to share enough information for you to decide if this would be something you'd be even interested in giving a try. That's it. Because I think recruiting, like I think about a military office, military recruitment centers, their job is we need more people in the military, and they will recruit you. I've seen them do it and they're very good, and they want you to come in. Do I want people to come into Mary Kay? Only if they want to. Now, there are plenty of times where I sit across and think, oh my goodness, this person I'm sitting across from would be amazing. I can see where she's got teachers, moms of her cheerleaders, moms of her kids, friends. She's got a customer base just waiting to happen.
She has so many people to prey on for sales and recruitment.
But if she doesn't see it, it doesn't matter what I see. And that's why I'm not a recruiter. I'm someone who shares. Okay? I believe in this opportunity with every fiber of my being. It has been my solo career for 22 plus years. That wouldn't be the case. I have a college degree. I could do a lot of things. That wouldn't be the case if I didn't believe in it. Do I believe everyone deserves to hear about it? You bet. Do I believe everybody should sign up? No, I don't. You know why? Because it isn't up to me. But I do believe they should have the opportunity to decide for themselves. So let's quickly, in the last little bit here, talk about, now that we've talked about holding a sharing appointment, when to follow up and how to circle back. Okay, when to follow up. I don't need to do a lot of follow-up if I close it out properly. And that is, at the end, I ask the question. I don't go, okay, well, thanks so much for coming on the call today. And my voice goes up an octave because I'm nervous. No, I say, Susie, now that you've heard and I've answered the questions that you had, I'd love to know, is this something you could see yourself just giving a try? Is this something you could see yourself just giving a try? I ask the question. I invite her to join. I don't recruit her. I invite her to join. Okay.
That's the same fucking thing. You're trying to get her to join, which is recruiting. You are attempting to recruit. It is the same thing. There is no difference. Same outcome if this individual decides to join.
And if she goes, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think so, then write this down. Then the next thing out of your mouth should be, great. Then the next step is I'll send you that link and you can choose between the $35 startup option or the one that allows you to add on the full starter kit. Sound good? That's it. That's it. Okay. Now, let's say you haven't done that. Let's say you did the higher octave thing and you're like, well, thanks for the call today. And okay, I know you have to go and I don't want to take any more of your time and I'll see you at work tomorrow. Okay, bye. First of all, don't do that. Second of all, if you did that, here's how you circle back. Don't go, oh, can't believe I didn't. No, don't beat yourself up. Get better, not bitter. And you go, okay, what, if anything, could I do differently next time? Immediately debrief with yourself. This is the great thing about doing a 3-way call with your director. I will ask you, I'm curious, what, if anything, would you do differently next time? And then you can say, because the way I do it is initially on these calls, I'll share for you and you listen and learn. And then you'll get to the point where you're doing it and I'm listening. And then after the person's off the line, we'll debrief. And so if you need to circle back because you didn't get a decision, then this is how you do it. Next day, ring, ring. Hey, Susie, it's Brittany Mitchell with Mary Kay. I just want to say thank you for sharing a few minutes with me last night just to hear about our opportunity. I know that what usually happens, see what I just did there? I'm taking it off of her and saying what usually happens. For anybody, what usually happens is people get off the call and they're rolling it around in their head. So I'm curious, since last night, rolling it around in your head, what other questions have you thought of? And they'll either have some or they won't. And if they have some, you answer. And if they don't, you say, well, then I guess I'm curious whether you think this is something you'd be interested in just giving a try. That's it, you guys. I don't care if it's been 2 days, 2 months, 2 years. You circle back. I'm curious. A couple months ago, we talked about the opportunity, and I'm not sure that I ever asked you the most important question, and that is, based on what you heard, is this something you could see yourself just giving a try?
I love how she says it the same way every time. It feels so rehearsed.
And then you zip it and you let her answer. And if she goes, oh, definitely not, then maybe you say, I'm curious. Tell me what makes you say that. Or she goes, I don't know, maybe. Then you might say this. Tell me more. What are you thinking? You guys, the shortest questions. Don't go maybe. Okay, all right, well, it doesn't have to be now. It could be later. I mean, but could it be, no word salad. Shh. I'm curious. When you say maybe, tell me what's going on in your head. What are you thinking? What makes you say that? Okay. Now, let's say you have customers, and we all do, including me, customers you've never offered the opportunity to, you never did a share with. I know you're out there going, I'm thinking of people right now. Good. It should be everyone. Every single person you've ever sat with, shared the product with, sold the product to, even if there wasn't an appointment, every single one, you have the gift in your hand. And every time you don't share, it's like this. I want you to picture that. I am withholding something from you. And you don't know what they're thinking about that. Does she think I'm not pretty? Does she think I couldn't do this? Does she think that I have to look like her to do this? Does she think that I would be terrible at this? Does she think I don't have the personality? You don't know what she's thinking. So why not just share? And so this is what works well with people you've never offered the sharing appointment to. Reach back and say, ring, ring. Sarah, it's Brittany Mitchell with Mary Kay. Do you have a quick minute? I owe you an apology. Oh, what do you mean, Brittany? Sure. What's going on? I can't believe that I'm saying this right now, but it occurred to me that in all the time you've been my customer, I've told you about our products a million times. I've never told you about our business opportunity. Now, I don't know if it's anything you would ever consider for yourself in a million years. And neither do you, because I've never shared it with you. And here's what I find is it's either for you or not. You won't know until I share, but it could be for someone you know. And if so, you can tell me, but could you do me the honor of just allowing me a few minutes to share with you? Doesn't have to be now. We could schedule a time to spend 15 minutes on the phone together. You guys, that's so pure. That's so honest. That's so not salesy. Blah. You know we don't do that, right? And I've had customers go, oh, no, that's okay, Brittany. I'm not really interested. And I say, but you know, I really believe that everyone deserves to know about this, even if you listen and it's not for you. I'll feel better knowing I did my job just by sharing it. So could you humor me and just listen for a couple of minutes? It really helps me get better at what I do.
Oh my God. She's really good at making people feel uncomfortable and pressured into saying yes. In my opinion, okay? You let me know in the comments, but that would make me so uncomfortable and I would immediately be like,
Oh, okay, sure.
because I'm such a fucking pushover. Just so you know, if you ever see me in person, probably shouldn't have admitted that, but here we are. Anyway.
So that's what I would do to go back and circle back with people who you've not ever shared with, not shared with yet, or even people who said, the last thing I'll say is people who said no, unless they say no, not ever, then it doesn't mean no, not ever. It means no, not right now.
Incorrect. No. A no is a no forever unless they approach you again. I don't know many people that walk around and like answer questions. This is no, no, and no forever. Flat out no. No. That's not a repeatable question. That's not like do you want fries with that when you go to McDonald's? Do you want to join Mary Kay is not a repeatable question. Ask them once, they say no, you move on. They'll come to you. They will remember that you sell Mary Kay, I promise you, if they ever want to join.
If someone had asked me when I was a TV news anchor, I would have said no, because I got up at 2 a.m. I was exhausted all the time. Very often I work 6-7 days a week. I definitely would have said no in that season of life. Now it came to me in a different season of life, but let's just pretend that I had said no then and the person never asked me again. My life situation has changed a million times since then. I got a different job and then I left that job and then I got married and then we adopted a baby. You guys, people's lives are constantly changing and so are the circle of people they're around who could be potential customers. And so if you don't ever ask again, and they start, you don't know what people are thinking. They might be thinking, man, I sure could use some extra money. I sure could use some extra money. And if you don't circle back, they will find a way to do it somewhere else. Because they might be thinking, well, she asked me and I told her no. And so I can't call her up now and say, 3 years later, like maybe it's a yes now. You don't know what people are thinking. So I hope you'll go back and watch this and all of our core consultant training, because all of these are pure Mary Kay gold, not just from me, but from all the people who've mentored me for 22 years and counting.
She really never disappoints. I feel like I just want to be friends with her at this point. And now we know what it's like on the inside of Mary Kay, so it just reinforces our choices not to join, right? Anyway, it's time for our palate cleanser. TikTok hates your bullshit.
What do you call a man that refuses to fart in public?
A man that refuses to fart in public?
Yeah,
I don't know.
a private tutor.
Oh, I love that so much. And I guess it's fitting since earlier in this video, my son accused me of farting, which I still promise I did not do.
Yes, you did.
I will die on that hill. I didn't do it. I swear on everything. Thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.